All right. Good afternoon. We're going to continue here with our media availabilities at Bristol Motor Speedway. We've now been joined by Matt Kaulig, who's the owner of Kaulig Racing, Chris Rice, the president of Kaulig Racing, and driver Daniel Hemric. I will turn it over to Matt or Chris to get us started here this afternoon.
Well, guys, I don't know if this is working, but I'm loud enough for you guys to hear me. But we love doing these at the racetrack because of you guys. We know that if we don't have the media and we don't have the people that's in this sport, it's no way that we get this out to our race fans. And we love our race fans. We love everything about our race fans. And I said this to our race team on Wednesday. Tough times only last a short period of time. Tough people last a long time. And when we started this journey with Daniel Hemric and back in February about cup racing and different things, that's what we talked about. We talked about it a lot. And, with the partnership, the circle, and everybody that goes along with this, it was just evident that it wasn't going to take long for Daniel to work as hard as he worked behind the scenes, not on the racetrack, but behind the scenes, to be able to go back cup racing. I know his first time that he went cup racing, it wasn't the best. He probably beat himself to death every time he left, and he probably didn't have a good time with it. But our plan is to go have a good time with it, whether we run. We obviously want to win, and we want to win trophies. That's what Matt wants to do. But for our partners, Daniel's partners, and everybody else, we're glad to tell you that Daniel Hemric will drive the 31 car in 2024. So, congratulations, Daniel.
Yay.
Appreciate it, Chris. Thanks, man.
We've been working on this for what we said probably since February, like to just to advance our race team, to advance our cup program. Even since last year, when we look even at the race shop, when we try to improve our program, so whether it's with the Xfinity cars or with the Cup cars, we feel like the best way to even advance our Cup program is to have Daniel Hemric in that 31. So couldn't be more excited. I'm super excited for you. And, Daniel's been a huge part of our race team. He's been a great teammate. He's been a great family member. And I'm super excited that he's staying on with us, and we're gonna be cup racing.
Matt's so excited he flew in 4 hours early before the race, so that tells you how excited he is.
I thought something went wrong, like he was shutting the deal down.
Yeah. What are you doing here so early?
No, man, I obviously appreciate these guys. They went to bat for me whenever I didn't know what I had next in 2021, and I said then whenever I got to sit down and actually hear them out, hear what their vision was, not only for 2024, 2025, and beyond. Back well before that was on the horizon, I knew after hearing what they had to say that, I wanted to be a part of it. And, you never promise anything. You never know what's to come. But, one thing that's always been true, that if you keep showing up, right, you put the work in, you bring that heart each and every week, then you're going to have the same shot as you can only dream of. And, it's been a whirlwind, to say the least. Doing the best to hold it together up here, but It's here. Going back.
Daniel talked in front of our group, and then I guess we can open it up for questions. He talked in front of our group on Wednesday, and I want to tell this story because this was very special to me. We done the handshake in my office, and I was talking to Alan on text message back and forth, and when he talked to our group, he got emotional. He got emotional because he cares. And sometimes it doesn't matter how you run on a racetrack. It's about how much you care, and I think that's going to feed through our shop. We know that cup racing is hard. We understand it. And obviously that, having two cars in the Cup Series has been tough. We're in a year and a half, and we want to win races. And AJ and Justin have done an amazing job and absolutely done things that we didn't think we would see over the first year and a half. And I think Daniel will have the heart and caring enough to continue that on. So we appreciate that, and we love that about Daniel and his entire family. Kenzie, his two kids, one of them's wearing a helmet already. I don't know if he's going to be a race car driver or what, but yeah. Thank you guys for listening to us and hearing us. We love you guys, and we appreciate everything you do for us.
I'm going to start with the first question, though. I mean, I feel like I should have walked in here with a tank top on based off the arm picture. Anybody else agree?
All right. We'll now go to questions from the media. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll work to get a mic to you. We'll start up front with Jeff Gluck.
Were you surprised that you have an identifiable arm according to the internet, or was that?
Yeah, that was a bit bizarre.
Yeah.
I actually told these two guys walking over here, literally 30 seconds before we walked in, I'm like, I have you know, I had many moments this week where I got these random texts, and everybody knows I'm not going to lie to them. And they know if I didn't get a response, they knew the answer via family text. And I actually took a screenshot, sent it to Chris within 15 minutes of it getting posted of the handshake photo. And it was Blaine. He's like, we've been on enough vacations together. I know those arms. And so it was funny just to have people within the industry and family members and stuff reach out. And like lips are tied until Friday. But yeah, it was pretty bizarre to witness how that all went down.
My wife told me, she said, you should have done a girl's arm or something. You should have not done his arm. That was crazy.
Do you think people would figure it out from the arm?
You know, I wasn't. So honestly, Daniel can tell you how that come about. I'm always, and Matt tells me that I have this weird mind like this. I'm always trying to figure out what's going to stump the crowd, right? No matter what it is, what we're doing. I didn't think it would go that deep. I did think they would figure it out, but man, race fans they want to find out. You know, Bob walked up to me, I don't know, last week or a couple weeks ago, and he said it was Daniel Hemric. And I can't lie, right? I can't lie. I might not tell you something, but I can't lie. And it was, when we did that, I never knew they would get down to the freckle. Like, I never knew it would go that.
I didn't even know I had a freckle.
My daughter's pregnant, and I think she went into labor after looking at all the comments. I'm like, quit looking at all the comments, please.
That's funny.
Bob Hockers, Fox Sports. I have two. First for Daniel. How different of a Cup driver are you now than what you were in 2019?
We're going to find out. I mean, in all reality, I feel like, through the process of just trying to be a better person, a better racer over the last, 5 years, you do learn a lot about yourself through those ups and through those downs. I know just from attaching to what a race car driver at that level has to go through preparation and being on the racetrack, but more so, lose him there, but more so what happens once you leave the racetrack, right? Like how to detach, how to still, mentally stay sound at home and still be the best father and the best husband. So, yeah, I know without a shadow of doubt, I would be, it'd be naive for me to think that I'm the same person, and I'm not. And I'm excited about, the person I am going into this new opportunity, to say the least, Bob.
And for Chris or Matt, you have another car, the 16. Do you know what AJ is going to do next year? And also, Noah Gregson got reinstated this week. He's driven for you guys before. Is there any interest in him either on the Cup or Xfinity side?
We're super excited about our 16 car, but we honestly come in here today about the 31, and I would love to sit here and tell you, everything that's going on. Yes, AJ is very crucial. He was a big decision factor with Daniel. I'll be dead honest with you. We brought it to AJ first. Because AJ is part of our Kaulig racing. I think his middle name is Kaulig, so, but we do know.
I knew it.
Yeah, you knew it.
We made him change it.
Yeah.
All right, Zach.
Zach Sternillo on NASCAR.com. Daniel, you had Next Gen Cup experience last year. How much is that going to be a benefit going into this, knowing that you're not coming into this car blind?
Yeah, that's a great question. Obviously, I think I said it after, obviously I ran the first handful of races in that car, right? Brand new to the entire garage, and, went to Daytona and kind of survived and ran top 15, but then went to Fontana and unloaded inside the top 10, ran and qualified inside the top 5, if I believe, and we're running there before we had a mechanical failure that put us 6 laps down, then to come back, make those laps up and get a top 10 finish. I got out of that car right then, and man, for me, it was like all of the 2019, the years trying to figure out how to even get back into a Cup seat period, even though then it was only on a part-time basis, felt like, yeah, you're right, you can do this back at this level. And for me, that was like, okay, how do we bridge this gap? How do I get back there full time? So I use a lot of that experience. I'll be able to continue to use that experience that I got last year, and really felt like just in general, the garage changes so fast. I'm sure if we went back to Fontana tomorrow, that what I drove and felt in that car is not going to feel like it does today. But just to know you can go and compete and run up front, qualify that good, and race that good. And it's when you've been in a situation where you've struggled to feel like you were physically capable of doing it after, let down, whether it be self-induced or team-induced, to go and prove to yourself that you can do it, that's all the experience I need to gain that particular day, and that's why I look forward to what's ahead.
All right, we're going to go to Claire.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Daniel, it's amazing to me how you have weathered the ups and downs.
You're fine. I got you.
How you have weathered the ups and downs of this sport, right? Rides, no rides. Either you're high and coming into it, biggest thing ever, or you're struggling and trying to figure it out. How hard has that been, and what is it like to finally get where you're at now after hanging in there all this time and, you know, all these twists and turns?
Yeah, I mean, and just because this opportunity is here doesn't mean it'll be there well into the future, right? So you just try to do your best, and right now, and right now is all that matters. You know, through the past, you know, it's taken a support group that's been incredible. Like my wife Kenzie is like Matt, Chris here to both sides of me, and everyone else around me, right? Like to lift you up in those times where, you know, you are second guessing yourself. And then at the end of the day, everything else outside of that, if they're not on your team, right? They're not your core group. It's just noise. And to me, it's been about eliminating that noise and just, you know, keeping your head down. And yeah, it's very surreal, but not something that I haven't worked every day since 2019 to figure back out.
All right, Steven, then Lee. Go ahead.
Steven Toronto, CBS Sports. I might get some more. Steven Toronto. I guess I'll just go as is. Steven Toronto, CBS Sports. Daniel, one of the things that's changed about this sport in the past 10 years at the cup level is the opportunities are so much more limited now than they were in the past because, you know, as opposed to 43, 47, 50 cars in cup, there's 36 now from week to week, which has made it so that the opportunities to be in a cup car are much more limited. And if you cycle out of cup, it becomes much more difficult to get back in. So considering that, how do how fortunate do you feel to have cycled back into cup?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a testament of kind of the values from a kid, right? Like you are constantly trying to find your way, whether it be in racing or not. I think all the way back to my short track career, watching people that I'd go and mentor and driver coach, right? And then they get their shot, continue up the ladder, and I'd still be at that same local level trying to figure out hang on, how do they get to go on? Is that how it works, Claire? You hit it? I bring that up because this opportunity feels no different than that. I feel like in due time, in the right time, in general, you just end up exactly where you're supposed to be. And I think about that, and I think about all the kids around the world trying to figure this out, right? Like my mentality, I'm not sure what theirs are or what those out there today are. But for me, it was if I just keep going, right, one more step, figure it out. And when that guy decides he can't go no more, I went one more, I'll get shot.
Thanks, Daniel.
Lee Spencer, catchfence.com. Matt, this is your second full season in Cup. How much tougher is it? I mean, given all the success you had in the Xfinity Series, you almost made it look easy coming in. Talk about how just the level of difficulty to run a successful Cup program it is compared to what you were able to accomplish so quickly in Xfinity.
Yeah, and so it is our second full-time season. Yeah, it's been. I wouldn't say it's been tough. I think we're making progress exactly the way that we planned. You know, if we look at when we started the team, 8 years ago, it wasn't easy. We weren't running great in the Xfinity Series in year 2, and so it takes a little bit. You got to get the right team. You got to get the right teammates. You got to get the right drivers. And so, I mean, even what we're doing here today, talking about, Daniel and the 31 car and how we continue to get better, we're making progress. Whenever you're talking about anything in business, sometimes it takes time. It takes experience. It takes time. And I'm really, really proud of actually how both of our teams have run, or all of our teams have run this year. And really looking forward to the future.
And what are your thoughts on the current charter situation?
On our current charter situation? I think we're making good progress. I feel good about everything that's going on, actually. So I don't really have too many comments about it.
Good answer.
Thank you.
All right, Alan, did you have a question? Sorry if I saw your hand and it wasn't real.
Alan, Alan Cavana, PRN. You've talked about it, Daniel. It's so rare to get a second chance at the top level. Did you ever doubt yourself or worry that teams doubted your abilities?
Oh, yeah, sure. Absolutely. And I'm sure they still will. And that's fine. I'll still keep showing up. It's pretty simple.
All right, we're going to go back to Zach for a question.
Daniel, you're also chasing this Xfinity Series championship. Now that you know for sure that this is done, deal signed, announced out there, how much does this help you focus on the task at hand? And Chris, if you could comment on the belief in Daniel's ability to go chase this Xfinity championship as well.
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, right, it's my wife and I joke about this. I say joke about it, but serious conversation when you're trying to, go through these waters and navigate. When it's just you and you're only worried about you, like you can afford to work on stuff like this and fail at it, and there's nobody else relying on you. And I think anybody in here with kids and wives and family, right, when there's more and more people that depend on you, it becomes a bigger distraction without a doubt. So yeah, it's incredibly. It's the best sleep aid. Helps you sleep when you get your deals done and you ain't got to worry about it. So, and it's only fair to the men and women inside of our shop, everyone at Kaulig Racing, right? Everybody wants to know what's happening. They want to know if they got a job next year, who's running what, and that matters to everybody's decision. There's a lot of people depending on them. So it's just a trickle effect that lets all of us buckle down and zero back in on the task at hand. And there's no better time than now than get it out there, in front of everyone, just so we can refocus. I wouldn't have came here when I did if I didn't think we could win races and win championships. And to have partners like Circle that believe the same thing, right? They want us back focused, and be able to announce this today and put our head where it needs to be. That's what it's all about today.
Yeah, and you talk about can Daniel win a championship? I think as a race team, we got to get better. I don't think we're where we need to be. I told Claire at Darlington it's unacceptable, and last week we go and have 2 failures that's out of our control, and but actually what that did is made us learn. We learned a lot last week, and Daniel's unloaded last 2 weeks, top of the board, and I think we got to do our job. I think right now the team, us as a group, we got to get together and start cooking off some wins and clicking off some. We got to win stages, and we got to do stuff like that and have good runs to be able to get to the Final Four. Because I feel like 2 cars are already locked in with the 20 and 21. I think it's only 2 places left open, so we got to beat everybody to get there. And I think with this being Daniel knowing what he's doing over the next year is always good. But as a team, I think Alex Shantz and everybody has worked super hard to fix all the issues. And I look forward to today and mainly Texas next week will be a good test for us.
All right, and we'll end with Michael. Go ahead.
Michael Massey, front stretch. So you got with these guys, Daniel, to eventually go Cup racing again, get back to Cup. But you took a step back this year, right? You don't have those Cup starts this year. Like how are you guys able to get each other to buy into each other to take that step before you take the step back before you take the step forward?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's like any good relationship or marriage or whatever you want to call it, right? You just got to communicate. You try to show your cards, right in front of the next person and try to just understand the goals and where everybody wants to get to and where the vision is. And yeah, of course I want to be in Cup races this year, but the task at hand was to spend as much time as possible in the Xfinity Series to try to give ourselves the best opportunity possible to win and run for a championship. So, yeah, I mean, for me, sometimes taking a step back is actually taking a step forward, and I think this is no bigger testament of that. You just got to continue the process and have faith it'll work out just how it's supposed to.
And I'd like to hit on that. I think we learned as a group early on by letting AJ run some cars. We've let other people run some cars. I don't think it was as good as we thought it would be. We didn't, getting the track time and all that, because we could have run Daniel in a couple of races. Circle would have loved to have had him in, a couple of races, but we seen that it didn't really elevate what we needed. And we don't want to mess up the mojo or whatever he might have going at the time. So I think that was more of a call on our end, probably Matt's end more than mine. But I think that wouldn't be a step back. I think it was like a controlled, hey, let's go for this Xfinity deal instead of putting the efforts in Cup right this second.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. Well, congratulations to all 3 of you,
Thank you.
On this news. But we wish you the best of luck tonight and tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
It was my arm, by the way.